All right, let's get ourselves into the game because the game has started off, so which means it's going to be a drafting time for us, and we get to see Way Too Sexy's mindset going up against Mini. And Mini, he's always getting stable drafts as far as Pulse go. As far as Dignitas go, I really hope for some good fun heroes. I kind of hope to see Owie's Tiny. I hope they try and bring this little sucker back, but it's definitely going to be Land Event, big game on the line, one more win for Dignitas, and they know they're through, so maybe pull out all the stops for this one and say, you know what, got to make sure we win at least against Pulse. Probably going to be an easier game than Fnatic EU in their mind. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, you just want to get this win here. Get your second win, guarantee your playoff berth, then worry about Fnatic. It's a much low-pressure match. If you're 2-0 going up against Fnatic, where it's a low-pressure match, you can just win it, lose it, either way you're through. More likely than not, they take that game as well. They've got all the momentum going their way. Interestingly for Dignitas, you mentioned AUI playing the Tiny. It's something where he's also been playing that off-lane solo now. He's not solely playing the carry. They've got Snaking, who's been rotating around, playing the carry role on occasion as well. And that's sort of come along with Dignitas sort of having some weaker performances on occasion. So be really interesting to see who's playing that carry role. Yeah, see if Owie goes back to, well, it was his original role when he first came into the scene. Everyone was like, hey, it's Owie, and it's Owie with Yasha on a brood mother, and he was running Hand of Midas on that off lane lone druid, and then he just starts pushing down because he's going Mjolnir on that. It's like it was fun to watch him on all lanes really. Really, yeah. Owie is an amazing player to watch. It's the same as watching Fog's Invoker. I kind of wish that Invoker would make a little bit more of a re-entry back into the scene, but he's kind of been shunned a little bit to the back corner of recent times. Yeah, and for this game here, it is going to be the Batrider, Magnus, Templar Assassin, and Darkseid being banned out by the two teams. So, you mentioned Invoker. It's a hero who I don't think is going to be picked up early on the draft, but it's something if Dignitas are comfortable with that in the mid lane, an Exort Invoker combined with an aggressive tri-lane, maybe just some aggressive chain stunts in one of these lanes, could be a way that they can play this. With the sort of recent surges of certain mid heroes, I think Invoker can fit in to a draft for Dignitas, and that's something which they can really use that's unique to their playstyle. Yeah, I'm really happy with just already Jakiro coming up, always a fun hero to try and initiate with, but the fact that Mag as well as TA as well as Batrider have all been taken out. These three heroes have just been basically peppering the scene with some really fast games and games where you just don't know how you come back from it. And that's not the way I normally view Dota. Dota, there's always a way to come back. We saw it earlier on today, 10,000 golden experience behind, all of a sudden, 20, 30,000 in front. Works out amazing. So we're going to see Undying as well as Shadow Shaman coming out here from Dignitas. One of Way Too Sexy's fun heroes, that Shadow Shaman. Yeah, and Dignitas, they were kind of one of the first teams in the North American, European scene to actually really prioritize Undying. They were doing it before some of the recent patch changes, and they love using these heroes in some aggressive tri-lanes and just being very proactive as far as pushing down towers. And you combine that with the Shadow Shaman, you've got drop the Serpent Wards, drop the Tombstones, really easy to take down towers uncontested, and Jakiro, his AoE, can't do anything against that once both those things are dropped, being buildings. They're just completely untouchable. And Pulse, they need something strong here of their own. Maybe they go for the Wisp. They're a team who love to run the Wisp, still in the pool. They've got the Sven. Wisp could be comboed with it, but that's Queen of Pain for now. Yeah, Queen of Pain already coming up. The Sven obviously is always a fun pick, and you always know you can get through it. I assume, actually, with this lineup already with Queen of Pain as well as Sven, that we will be seeing Sven not as support Sven. It will be farm up, carry as much as possible. Maybe even aggressive tri-lane Sven. That's a dangerous thing to do when you're going up against Undying as well as Shadow Shaman. That decay is already going to drop Sven down really, really low. Shadow Shaman, not only is he like that great shackler, he's got good stuns, he's got a Hex up his sleeve, and then he's got burst damage as well. He's got an ability to push down towers. I love Shadow Shaman for how dynamic he is as a support hero. It's why when it was combined with Wisp, I know Kurokai used to run a lot, the Shadow Shaman as well as the Wisp, and it was just this Alex and Kuro kind of combo that just, it just destroyed all kind of lanes, because you just come in with the ultimate, you got burst damage, you got the whole damage, so you can do all this damage and then just leave. It was an amazing kind of thing, but one hero we actually haven't seen in a while, as he keeps on getting banned, is actually the Bounty Hunter, the last one for Dignitas. Yeah, I forgot he was still in the pool, and that's another hero Dignitas really likes. So I feel Dignitas, comfort lineups, this is really it for them. It's Shadow Shaman, Way Too Sexy, loves playing it. You've got the off-lane Bounty Hunter, something which either AUI or Snaking's going to be playing in. The Undying for that tri-lane, for either a support or the farming role. Probably in that support role, then you get some hero for their main carry role, for their farming role. Luna being banned out, something the Chinese seem to be doing, and Dignitas are definitely a team who take a lot of inspiration from what the Chinese scene is doing. They follow a lot of those teams over there. Yeah. Well, obviously a lot of people have. Of course, there's a lot of coverage that came out recently. Some wonderful broadcasting organisation you should always check out. BLT. Definitely check them out.
And they're actually doing a stream of the other matches. So with the two matches on at the same time, LD's over there streaming the matches which aren't broadcast here on the main Dreamhack Dota channel. But for now, it is Pulse and Dignitas, and this is sort of the highlighted match. This is, to me, is one of the most interesting matchups of this group. The Americans coming all the way over, up against probably one of the stronger European teams here. Obviously, the next level below Na'Vi, but definitely a team who could be a title contender.
Yep. So our final bands, well, Luna as well as you said, now Rubik being taken out here by Mini. Don't have anything stolen. Wondering too if that means we're going to see some kind of larger, and I'm leaning down the lines of Enigma possibilities coming out, because we've already seen Way Too Sexy ban out this first jungler, so Chen is being removed out. Wisp has been removed just in case that combo is still going to happen. And the decision actually with Mini right now, what he wants to remove is his final one. And it's a difficult decision, because what are you really banning out now? You've got mid lane solos you could possibly ban, or you have your semi-hard carry, or #1 slot, to be farming on the easy lane for Team Dignitas. So what do you want to do with that one? You take out Coddle. So almost assuming the fact that Undying is going to be taking up more of a primary role for the Dignitas lineup by banning out that Coddle.
Or maybe expecting the possibility of a Shadow Shaman as a solo mid. But yeah, Coddle a bit of an unorthodox ban considering there's already two could-be support heroes for Dignitas. It is an annoying support hero to verse because of the way that the style of play has been so far this tournament. A lot of neutral stacking, Keeper of the Light just perfect for that. He can take those down really fast. He can also just stack them for your carry to quickly annihilate, accelerate his farm. So it's a really great sort of support hero if you want to play a more late-term farm-based game. Lina the last ban for Dignitas, and that leads into a Windrunner pick for Pulse, so there's your probable off-lane hero. Yeah, so Windrunner for the off-lane, Night Stalker straight away by Dignitas, not really wasting much time on that one. And I was also throwing out the possibility, because I know a couple of teams will be doing it, but mainly on the Dire side, where you get the early drums and you get the early Vlads up on the Bounty Hunter by running him in the safe lane, and then he goes around just, firstly, Roshan, and then the world. Yeah, that's the way normally we play. But the fact that we see Night Stalker being picked up does lean down the lines of either still being able to run that aggressive tri-lane, because between the Void and then Undying with the Decay, you got the slowdown, you can do a large chunk of damage to whoever's going to be on that top lane. And Shadow Shaman also, it's a really wonderful combination, be it on the safe lane or be it on the aggressive lane. But you do lean down the lines of Night Stalker. He wants to be prepared for that first nighttime cycle, and then he'll go nuts. And Lycan is the final pick up here from Mini, and this leads us into dual lane for Jakiro's Ven. Lycan jungle, Windrunner offlane, Queen of Pain solo mid, if I was going to be a gambling man. Well, Lycan not the best jungler, but it's something with the way Pulse have picked things here, unless we're seeing something along the lines of a Windrunner support, Lycan almost going to be forced to go into that jungle. He's much slower with the recent changes, and but it's something though that I know that Puppy basically found a way through, and Wagamama was sitting there the entire time watching it every single time Puppy did it, just getting that early quelling blade, because while it's a problem for him farming up, once he gets a mini momentum, hello Gyrocopter. Wow. Hello indeed. This is aggressive from Dignitas. We're going to see, I guess, Night Stalker mid with a safe lane Gyrocopter, the Bounty Hunter in the offlane. This is, I think they're going to go safe lane, tri lane, try get some levels and farm on the Shadow Shaman using the pull camps. He's the hero you want to get the level 6 up fast, and they can be aggressive. Gyrocopter, I feel, with the Undying, there's some nice synergy there to setting up basically a lot of the slow from the ultimate, combine that with the Tombstone, you can chase heroes down with the missile. This is a really cool lineup coming out from Dignitas. I'm just going to see how effective it's going to be, because Gyrocopter, one of these heroes that kind of made his way back into the scene, well, first time into the scene for Dota 2, really, when Templar Assassin were looking for counters to her. And then we saw Barrage, and just had a great old time with that. But it'll be Aoi 2000, so he does get to play that safe lane. All about going to be the farm for him. And then going to be supported, as 100% right, Way Too Sexy, as well as Sneaking. Going to be heading down towards that bottom lane. What am I saying? What the hell has he done to his name? That's Tides. Yep. Yeah, man, pink. Don't like it. Fogged, he'll be our solo mid. And then up towards the top. That's Sneaking. Going to head up towards the top lane. And then over towards the Pulse lineup. Mini, he'll be taking the role as the Lycanthrope. Pinoy, Queen of Pain, and puts Fishbone onto Jakiro. Leaves our top solo, which, not solo, the farm man, be Wagamama up in that top lane. And Region, Windrunner hard lane. Well, Bounty Hunter right off the bat was given 4 Observer Wards. He's already blocked a couple of these camps. The small camp which you can use for pulls, the big camp which Lycan would want to farm out, and He may want to block some more here. Probably wants one at the rune to help out the mid Night Stalker who's want to be getting that fast bottle, but Pulse not going to have a fun time in this top lane if they can't use these pulls. They've got Sentry Wards for Lycan, which is going to be crucial to at least deward the small camp, and it is going to be Bounty Hunter at this top lane, getting all three, the two pool camps as well as the big camp on the far right blocked out.
Yep, and that's why Mini's walking around with these 2 sentries. He might be able to clear them off, but he'll only be able to clear off maybe, well, actually, depending on his wall position, it's quite possible. If he manages to hit that wonderful sweet spot right here, then it's possible he'll be able to take out those other 2, but he'll have to hit the absolute sweet spot with that sentry.
He can't actually spot out this one here in the small camp over on the right because it is surrounded by trees. He hasn't got a Quelling Blade. He'd have to guess using up some tangos to get rid of that, so it's going to be a hard time for him. That's top lane though. Bounty Hunter will just look to leech whatever XP and farm he can. Mid lane you've got the Night Stalker versus Queen of Pain, a matchup where Night Stalker does struggle a bit, but Night Stalker isn't about winning the lane. He's just about getting the XP, and then for the first night time, all he needs is the XP, the levels to go gank the other lanes.
Well, as long as he doesn't get ganked up himself, because during that first night time, if you haven't got any gold, like what are you going to do? You got a decent amount of life because he has got on the double gauntlets to start with. But once the consumables get worn down, which Pinoy should be able to take care of, like Shadow Strike, just keep them ticking over, and then damage onto this tower, which has already been forced to happen. Or then again, maybe this just happens as well, and we see Tides pull into the jungle from the middle lane, and then Pinoy forced to come in so close just to harass down Fog, and he has to be more aggressive in this lane.
Yeah, it's going to be hard with those pulls. He's going to get denied a lot of XP at mid lane, the Queen of Pain, and Night Stalker already with a big level advantage at mid because of those little mid lane pulls, which is something which, for the time being, Tides of Time is just going to keep on doing. Dignitas love to use these pulls. They're pretty much leaving Owie as a solo at the bottom lane. Shadow Shaman's pulling the normal camp. They've got Tides pulling the camp at mid, and they're just trying to maximize their XP gain around the map, even if they're not farming as well as they would be because of having running practically 3 solo heroes.
I do enjoy this from Mini. Whoop, and they do a little bit of a ring of Rosie around the tree. But Mini, even going to sum up his walls for this one, but then sneaking, just runs in Viz. They do have a dire sentry ward off to the side, and Waga doesn't want to, Mini doesn't want to waste his wolves right now. Sneaking also wants to farm them up. But just Mini with that howl. I don't know if you just noticed, but in the middle lane, hello, middle lane Pinoy. Dropping down very, very low. Forced to already eat up a tango. He's only got 2 more tangos left. In fact, Fog's the one who's getting the advantage here in the middle lane as far as eating through those consumables. But noticing Pinoy's harassment, once that howl came off, he's getting a couple of extra right clicks in, extra little bit of damage, ticks him down a little bit further. And maybe that's our way that we can start looking at when that middle lane pull becomes a problem. Yep. You pull in towards that middle lane, and you look at it going, well, I'm pulling, but now my mid solo is taking way too much damage. He's running out of consumables. What am I supposed to do? No, wait, he has bottle.
Well, he has bottle for now, but it's one of the first blood.
Yeah, it was top lane.
Well, Pulse, that's an important kill for them. They get the Sentry Ward down, they do manage to find the Bounty Hunter, and as an offlane hero, getting an early kill on him, getting that first blood, for the Lycan of all heroes as well, a hero who wants that early gold, early XP to get up the Vlads as fast as possible is pretty important for this Pulse side. They need to punish this suicide Bounty Hunter as much as possible. Yeah,
that they do, and really works out nicely for them. They had a big creep wave that was coming down that top lane before, then just pull off the side. Now sneaking again, caught out, dual breath, slowed down, there's no ice path, but there's definitely that next stun. So it's going to be straight again. Another kill on this top lane going towards the Pulse tri lane.
And he should know there's a Sentry there. He just died there once. He goes in again, and a bit of a misplay from him, some missteps from there. Maybe the pressure getting into him a bit. And the Lycan, with this howl, giving his team a lot of bonus damage. I mean, plus, just level 1, it gives 20 damage to all your ally heroes. So that's an extra 60 combined damage for all the hits from the 3 at top. It helps out the Queen of Pain at mid when he wants to harass or try going on Fog. So a really useful skill to get early on Lycan.
Yeah. The only problem for Mini right now is the fact that he just cannot farm with the amount of life points he's got. He's going to have to walk all the way back to base. He's out of mana, and he's basically out of life. So he's only got one other option, is to pull or go back to base.
Yeah, it looks like, the bottle coming top. This bottle, I think, is going to be used by Mini.
Yes, Minis. It actually belongs to Mini.
Wow. Okay, I thought it was maybe the Queen of Pain's bottle, and Queen of Pain's like, oh, I just had my bottle for a couple times. But no, Mini buys his own bottle, and this is going to help him stay in this lane, help him stay in this jungle. He's actually spending more time in the lane than anything, so they're probably looking to push down a fast T1 tower. They haven't got a Bassering Aura up at the time being, but something they'll probably get out soon on this Lycan.
So here we go, tier 1 tower, and they know that Sneaky's died 2 times over. He's not going to have any form of items that's going to be able to stop this. So ready to push down, Waga, not level 6, so pushing down this tower is not that easy, but they've got 2 points up in Liquid Fire on Fishbone, and that means when pushing down this tower, there's so little damage coming out from this tower because it just attacks so damn slow, and it always is basically slowed down because of this timing from Fishbone. You've got to wait that long time, 15 seconds, but slowed down, siege creep behind, Tier 1 tower takes a fall there. At the same time, Tier 1 tower is being forced by Dignitas in the bottom lane, but they're throwing down Tombstone to ensure this, while on the top lane, it's a Warcry and it's right clicks, and that's it. And this momentum just cannot be stopped.
Yeah, top lane is just going to keep on pushing with those two abilities, the plus armor, the bonus damage from the Lycan, and the Liquid Fire, just giving them this huge amount of pushing power. The tower just not as strong as the defensive force when it's hitting 30% slower, and Bounty Hunter can't do anything to stop the push at top lane. The only option is to bring more heroes top, to try look for a gank, to try look for a counter kill. Maybe the Night Stalker once it hit nighttime. Nighttime is approaching in about the next 30 seconds, the next minute or so, and here we go, rotation top. They brought Undying here just to make sure they don't lose another tower.
Yeah. And just speaking about the rotation into nighttime, we're seeing Fog to walk all the way back to base right now. He has to do this because he spent every little bit of life point he had in that middle lane. The bottle is completely empty, and he wants to go gank, but needs to refresh back up again, and then be happy to rock and rumble. And Pinoy, are we actually looking at, again, a Dagon?
Oh, I'm not sure, but it's something that last game just didn't seem to do all that much for Pulse. He got it really early on. They wanted to go for the burst damage so they could actually get kills, but Fnatic spent too much time sticking together. Something which Dignitas likely to do as well, having the Undying pick. It's very sort of the kind of hero you want to be sticking together a lot with.
Seeing Fog to have a little bit of fun there in the middle lane, just running in, just harassing the Queen of Pain. At the same time, Tides of Time has a little bit of fun with Mini over that top room battle.
Well, for the time being, it's Dignitas ahead as far as farm goes in the CS charts. It is Aoi at the bottom lane, AUI 2000 with the highest CS in the game. He's also got a really interesting skill build here. He's got 2 points in stat, just 1 in Barrage, 1 in Missile, 1 in Flat Cannon. I guess deciding that he's not going to be able to get those early kills when playing so defensive. So he decides, hey, get more points in stats, play more towards the late game where he's going to be tankier, have additional agility, more armor, more intelligence.
Pinoy, trouble in the middle lane, shackled up, Fogged right on his tail right now, and just more than enough damage. Shock as the last thing to get the last little tick over. 2 points up in that little sucker. Still surprising, considering Fog is going up against Queen of Pain. Still not a single point of Crippling Fear. Everything else goes into Void. 4 points Void, 3 points Hunter in the night.
Yeah, I know Synderen talking about his Night Stalker would not be happy with this. But
Synderen would be rolling in his grave right now if he was dead, but he's not. He's just not here.
And for Dignitas, they're quite happy not to look to try push down too many more towers now. They got the one early one at bottom lane, but as of now, they want to get up those early arcane boots. They want to get some more levels on the Undying, get him up to a couple more points in the Tombstone. Fogged is the one hero who wants to be ganking around the map, and not having that Crippling Fear makes it a lot harder. You can't really gank and kill the Queen of Pain that easily.
She's a hard hero to lock down. Even with that silence you've got on her, if she's sitting at 3/4 of her life, you don't really have that much damage to bring her down, especially if she wants to counter-initiate. And that's 4 point Scream, 1 point ulti. We all know how much damage that can do. All it takes is a little bit of harassment, and then just jumps in for that last little nukage. And heroes like Undying, if he doesn't have a decay off, I would assume that he would almost drop like a sack of potatoes. Same with Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman would definitely would. 2 points in armor and not even 700 life points. Pinoy would be happy to take every single point of that life. And now 8-minute room, maybe with a little bit of luck with the rune, might be able to do it.
Well, here we go, top lane. Bounty has hit level 6 now, so he leaves the top lane. Crippling Fear has been picked up from Fog. This is going to be a kill on Pinoy. There's no way out of this. This is going to be a track kill as well. Pinoy goes down for the second time in succession, so Dignitas finding some important kills on the solo mid hero, not to mention Bounty Hunter getting involved with some track.
Yeah, he didn't even need the Crippling Fear at the end of that because Queen of Pain blinked to try and get away from the Bounty Hunter. And at that point, Fog's like, oh, sweet, I can just void and keep on running through, and if needed, I can just pop that Urn Charge. And he's still racking those little guys up, but at the same time, Pulse, Tier 2 tower on the top lane, so they lose out on the Queen of Pain, but they take out the top. My question right now is, how long does Pulse remain on this top lane? Where is the switch up? Do we have Windrunner now switch up towards the top lane and switch Waga, Mini, as well as Fishbone down towards that bottom lane and do the same to the Tier 1 tower and Tier 2 tower in the bottom lane?
Here we go. It looks like for now it's going to be a chase coming in from Fog. Oh, right into Wagamama. This is not where he wants to be.
He at least gets the stun out and Undying, but Shock, try and TP out, not going to be possible.
Wow, Dignitas really...
Hey, what? He was denied!
Oh!
Whoa. It was actually the Ursa who came up from the side and denied him.
Rogue Ursa getting involved. Dignitas getting really proactive early on with smoke ganks. That's 2 in just a couple of minutes. First from the mid lane, then they get the kill on Queen of Pain at mid, and then they go top. They're just really going from gank. They're getting the kills in some form, not the actual kill there, but it's still slowing down the farm of some of these Pulse heroes. Sven would love to have up that fast drum or the fast Master Madness to sort of go around ganking, to go around doing a ton of damage.
I think Dignitas are going to count themselves so unlucky about that. That also just getting slightly aggroed out and then a couple of heroes grouped up together. Because you know what happens when 3 grab around. Pinoy going to be really cautious here in the mid lane. He's way too far out. Blinks up and then instant ice path. 3 heroes caught. Then the dual breath. One like a wolf can say hello. Fog. He will go down. Queen of Pain. Big ultimate. Really nailing down on top of sneaking as well as Tides. And the Tombstone being dropped. So nice gold as well. Flying the way of Pulse. Not to mention the kill on a Night Stalker. Puts him on the sidelines. Pinoy gets a rocket for his efforts.
Yeah, Jakiro in the right place at the right time. Bounty Hunter never even came out of Invis, but copped the full damage from the Queen of Pain Scream as well as Sonic Wave. So just the positioning, the way Dignitas initiated there, they needed to make sure only one of those 2 heroes got caught in the ice path. But Pulse, they get some kills back on the board, and this is really something they need to be doing here. They haven't had the best time as far as farm goes. They do have to worry about the Gyrocopter later on. Gyrocopter, who's still getting more and more points in stats, so he's really sort of playing as a semi-carry, / even the full carry type Gyrocopter.
So a little bit worried about how much fun Wagamama is still able to get on the top lane. He hasn't got, I would say, a large amount during this game so far, but he's given space in this top lane. We had the gank up in the middle lane, failed out, and there was support that was there, and it worked. And then Pulse, he gets a lot of space up on the top lane. So Waga finally has his level 6. There is, however, a bit of a train coming towards the top lane, and looks like it's a smoke train as well.
This is another smoke gank. This is just what Dignitas want to keep on doing.
Oh,
They've got
the
this
worst time to
aggressive...
pull.
Oh, man. Uh-oh, Snaking going to scout things out.
This is the time, because the creep wave's going to be coming up. They can easily push onto this tower now. And, well, we do know that Jakiro is sitting on the sidelines, and Waga, he can be protected by a big ice path. And they don't want to do it, but Mini. Ulti on cooldown for the moment. Sneaking's managed to track him up.
Well, Dignitas don't know his ulti's on cooldown. They sort of forced to back off. Jakiro really well positioned there. Doesn't get caught out at the pool. He's just hiding in the trees above the tower. So if they go on Sven, he's ready to just drop an ice path and keep himself alive. Lycan, even with a track on, happy to farm in these neutrals here. Fog just, from the low ground, actually steals one of those 2. But Mini knows he's safe. He's got the backup there, and Dignitas forced to go look elsewhere for these kills. Kills they really need. When you've got a Night Stalker Bounty Hunter looking to be aggressive, looking to get that track gold, you have to have a successful first night.
Yeah, that you do. Now, at this point, I wouldn't really class this as massively successful. I would class this is actually not successful at all.
No, it hasn't been the best. They've been buying time for Aoi to be farming at the bottom lane. He's got himself a fast Drum of Endurance, also has the Ring of Aquila now, so he's going to maybe look to join up with his team. He's got a second point in Flat Cannon, so he's going to be going DPS here, sort of trying to create this Death Ball army where they can just take down towers uncontested. The Flat Cannon can harass the heroes from far away, and he's just going to be wanting to have as much cheap, cost-effective damage as possible.
And Waga's going to be really cautious being this far down, especially, well, then again, they do have a lot of vision of where people are moving, but only around the river. And then deeper onto that top lane where Waga is, he just throws in a Stormbolt and runs himself away. Not being confident at all for that top lane, because on the bottom lane is actually where Dignitas are looking to set up. So Sneaking already the first one in. He's staying there right next to Fogged. And they're hoping for Regen, but Regen's got 4 points in power shot. All he's got to do is just stand back at that tower, let off a couple of power shots, and he'll feel hunky-dory. Same time, this middle tower is being pushed out by Pinoy and Mini. And with a little bit more effort, they can easily bring down this tier 1 tower in the middle lane. It's the reason why Sneaking's probably coming to defend it. Starts off with the track on Pinoy. And, well, there is a fortification. They want to try and defend that. Yes, it will go. And then double TP's coming in. Instantly running back out again. Ice Path to cover the retreat. Force the fortification, and they'll go again later on. Freeze up the top lane, freeze up the bottom lane for Pulse.
Yeah, Pulse are playing this really well, just sort of moving around the map, avoiding the ganks of Dignitas. First winner at bottom, backs off at the right time, now mid lane. Sure, the tower gets denied, but they avoid getting ganked, they avoid these kills here. Hasted Night Stalker, even during the day, is something to be feared. So Pulse just, right now they're splitting the map. They've got Sven farming at top, they've got the Windrunner at bottom, and avoiding these ganks is really helping them out, slowly catch up as far as farm goes.
Mini walking straight past that bounty hunter. I can't believe how often I'm looking around to the dire side and I keep on seeing this bounty hunter just sneaking around them. He's always there somewhere. You know, it couldn't be avoided. Bottom lane Regen got himself a rocket on him. He's really got to move fast now. This means wind run. This means get out of range. Already popping phase boost and wind run back in range to that tier 2 tower. And support's coming in from Waga. They're going to kill off this rocket. No, they're going to let it hit. And Waga wants to chase this down and get a kill, but it's just not close enough. Queen of Pain wanted to blink in and then just be all of a sudden a surprise, but she was too far away.
Yeah, and the Lycan Wolves just scouting things out this bottom lane. Queen of Pain going to rotate as well. Pulse have committed 4 heroes towards the bottom lane. Only Lycan not here. His Wolves are here, though. So he's going to be able to have some contributions here if Pulse want to try take a fight. It looks like they're just going to go for this tier 1 tower, something which Dignitas will be struggling to defend. Fog does have his ultimate if he wants to pop it and try TP in, but Night Stalker, Bounty Hunter, just not the best teamfight heroes right at this point in the game.
And this tier 1 tower's gone. It's going to be forced on down unless Dignitas really want to 100% commit to this fight. I don't think Pulse even 100% commit to this fight. They've seen the rocket flying in, sneaking. The tombstone already drops, and well, hello, the call down going to come right to a region. No, it's too far out of position. Shackle will fly, doesn't latch up Aoi. That's why Stormbolt, Quapoldi, and we will see the Gyrocopter already going down, sneaking, dusted up, so they're going to find him. But Wagamama locked inside the walls, how to fight his way back out again. Macro player giving a little bit of trouble there to way too sexy. He tried to hold Pinoy in position. Now the silence trying to TP out, and the Ice Bar's going to give him enough cover fire to do it. Sneaking Shuritos only just coming off cooldown after all of that. So he couldn't cancel the TP out.
Some amazing coordination there from Pulse, just losing no one despite the Dirge Tombstone going down in a pretty decent time, then getting out of there just to avoid the Gyrocopter ultimate. If that cooldown lands on a couple of heroes, the fight goes very sour for Pulse, but they got out, they turned around, they burst down Gyrocopter. AUI gets taken out. He's that main carry. He's been farming away for most of this game. The pick off on him is big for Pulse Gaming at this point.
Yeah, that's a huge thing to try and pick off. They almost picked up Bounty Hunter as well. Sneaking was dropping really, really low. Queen of Pain, if that Poison Sting is even level is at level 1. If that was actually level 4, he'll be dead right now. But then again, if it was level 4, would be later in the game. It's got to be Queen of Pain with higher levels.
Well, Pulse, they can have another go at this bottom lane. They're feeling pretty confident that they can take this Night Stalker no ultimates on cooldown for a couple minutes, and that's something which Pulse knows. So with it being daytime, they're feeling like they can take this bottom lane. They haven't got Wagga with them. He's at the top lane farming. He's actually got a Mask of Madness up, but regardless, Dignitas are not going to be defending the tier 1 tower this time around.
No, it's impossible. They want to try and find the trade, and that's in towards the middle lane. First one to come in, going to be Fishbone. So always having that Ice part there, just in case Dignitas were wanting to go in region when he also TP'd in. So they defend a tier 1 tower, they take a tier 1 tower, and they're also maybe able to find out Fogged, but he gets himself that regen rune and walks up towards the high ground where Pulse just have no idea where he goes up to that point.
Yeah, for now it is Dignitas trying to find some more openings. Bottom lane, Lycan very far up the map, also alone. Lycan going for the Necrobook build, so Pulse going to try to get sort of a strong army of their own for pushing lanes out. They've got the Sven, who's going to have a Mask of Madness, a ton of DPS coming his way, then combine that with the Necrobook. They can take towers down with relative ease. Jakiro has gone for that Liquid Path build. He hasn't actually maxed out, but just the 2 points will give them some strong pushing power.
Right with the Necri is also going to cause a little bit of havoc too when Dignitas is trying to chase down any kind of heroes. Look for the Invis, but I think more importantly, look towards that Night Stalker. Get rid of his mana so he can't do anything. His mana pool is so damn low as it is. So burn that out, remove the voids, remove that extra slow, remove the silence more importantly so Pinoy can move freely around the map. And also make sure that Sven's able to pop a full of his abilities. Because at this point, deciding not to go for that early BKB, but just having the Mask of Madness, he attacks hard, he attacks fast, but he doesn't want to get interrupted when that's happening.
Yeah, and not just the fast attack, but you also get mobility.
Oh, way too sexy.
Move a lot
Hex,
faster.
as well as the track, going to go out, the ward's going to be dropped down too. Mini trying to come in to help, cooldown going to come right to Marisha. Mini's going to leave him to die. Only thing he can do. And Mini actually being targeted by the rocket, not to mention he's also tracked in this high movement speed. It's going to let Aoi try and catch up to him. This stun is just never going to hit him. This is going to be like the longest rush. Trying to run after a Lycan. Well, he stops. He slows.
Ding.
Rather anticlimactic, isn't it?
I was expecting
it's like firing blanks.
Yeah. I was like full 50 damage or something. That's the problem with the Gyrocopter. He's going pure physical damage. He's only got the 1 point in the missile, the 1 point in the rocket barrage. He's not going for the nukes as far as his main spells go. He's going to have a 2nd point in the ultimate, but he's going to be looking to just land the ultimate, get a bit of damage off, get those slows, and then combine that with some physical damage from the flat cannon, doing some strong AoE damage.
Mini trying to farm up the Ancients for a moment, but he felt that he felt that something was coming at him. It was sneaky to start with. There's a Hex. Shackle latches up on the Shadow Shaman. Cooldown is going to come on the way down, but look at the damage coming out from the Lycan Wolves. Not to mention that power shot out from Region. There is one last shock, and Mini will recreate his Wolves. Try and push out this bottom lane and maybe find another opening, but Shadow Shaman, it was definitely worth a shot. But that was quick support by Pulse.
Oh yeah, Pulse immediately there as soon as Bounty Hunter gets spotted down. Dignitas, they're trying to go on this mid tier 1 tower, but it's always being defended. Pulse, they gave up the 1 tier 1 bottom tower very early on because of the way they had their suicide solo up against the Trial, but since then, every tower they're defending, every time Dignitas try go for a trade, Pulse are there ready to say, nah, we're going to get a kill, we're going to tower, and we're not going to let you get anything back in return.
It kind of gives you flashbacks to the days of when there was no trigger time for the TPs. Like, what was that, 5 TPs coming towards the towers? You would defend them with your life. Except Pulse just sees it coming, and they've got good fast maneuverability. Looks for this vent stun. Does manage to hit on one, but the tombstone down. Wonderful shackle again by Region, and then Quad Poldy right through the Undying and the Macro Pyre. Everyone's just burning to death. These Matt Serpent ones, however, great positioning for Dignitas, give them at least a couple, and some double buyback, but it's still going to be the death of Pinoy. Triple kill for Pinoy, triple kill for Aoi, and somehow Justin Bieber also gets a double kill on that one because he's way too sexy.
Well, he is way too sexy. Unfortunately, Pulse, that fight was not very sexy for them. They lose all 5 heroes, 2 heroes buyback, somewhat unnecessarily. I think their immediate reaction is, oh, a big fight going on, let's try TP back in and have some contribution. But that fight ended in about 5 seconds flat. Dignitas just with huge burst damage. A messy fight, about a 5 for 3 trade, and that
nice
goes
ice path.
Oh,
then
dear.
the vent stun. Will they deny the tower as well? No, Nice gets the last hit in. Waga, stun off cooldown in 8 seconds time. Fishbone's now got his. So if he wants it, ice path, he tried it, it's just off the edge. He delayed it twice and then sneaking walks into the ice path. Dual breath, try and slow down Fog. There's Sven stun, just so Fog remains there and doesn't chase down Fishbone, which is exactly what he wants to do. There's a whole lot of earn charges. Again, another ice path call down, coming down right on top of Wagamama. Look for the second hit, and look for the shackle again from Region. Aoi, as well as sneaking power shot, will go through his knee. He was invis during that one. So lucky shackle at the end of the day for Pulse.
Well,
that Region looking for another one, but he cannot find him. Fog already back, and even Tombstone being dropped by Tides, just in cases.
I mean, Dignitas are not going to be too happy about how that gyrocopter keeps going down these fights. These big shackle shots coming out from the winner are being crucial, but the good news is they get 2 track kills. Both Jakiro and Sven were tracked up when they died. Nightstalker actually held off killing Jakiro just to wait for that track cooldown, and then they finished him off as soon as the track was cast. So really smart coordination as well as communication going in from Dignitas, and that's gold going their way, which they need to start catching up. There's a big spike up. They're actually behind by about 5k gold, now much closer between the 2 teams as they're looking to find their next opening.
And way too sexy. This is a harsh world. When these wolves get so strong, even his shock, always looking for magical damage, and now he's going to turn around and tank this up. And Mini, in fact, going to pop off the ultimate. He thinks he's forced it this far. There's a gank camp happening on bottom lane, but I want to see if Mini's able to finish this job right now. The wolves in the tail with the Howl, they can actually do this. One last shock, but not enough damage. And then on the bottom lane, it is Ninestalker bringing down the Queen of Pain, combining it up with the Bounty Hunter. So another track kill coming your way.
Oh yeah, this Queen of Pain has not had the most fun time the last couple of minutes, and it is going to be the Dire team. Pulse, they haven't tried to use Roshan yet, something which they probably want to do in the near future, because they're just sort of trading kills, which isn't successful when you're up against a Bounty Hunter. Dignitas are catching up because of these track kills. Pulse need to play this a bit more safe. Get their farm up, get the Sven BKB, get Queen of Pain, what looks to be a Lincoln Sphere, have the Aegis on their side, have Lycan get this Necrobook 2, Necrobook 3. I think Pulse are just rushing things a bit too much.
Yeah, I agree. They've got to try and slow it down, just get the items they need, and maybe even just slowly set up, prep, and get that Roshan down, make a nice little move over. They know they've got enough power. Actually, the damage output is quite scary of what Wagamama's capable of doing. Because once he pops that God Strength, so bonus damage of 150%, and you're going to combine it up with what Lycan's going to give you, if he actually gets more than 1 point in Howl, you've got so much. You've got so much coming out from all of this that anyone can go down. Doesn't matter how many life points you've got. So Nightstalker, even going a tankier kind of build, he's gone a lot more stats, having that Aghanim Scepter already done. Like, that's great for him, but it's not going to be enough to try and cancel off what this event will bring to the fight.
It's a cool little item, though, to get this early on. Will help Gyrocopter get off those missiles, help find these kills in. That's the power of the Ag Scepter. They scout him out despite the trees there. He's like, oh, how do they actually see me while I'm still in these trees? I should be Fog. But the fast Ags from Fog allows them to get easy tracks off, also allows them to get easy homing missiles from AUI, and it's a very powerful item to rush on Nightstalker with the way that Dignitas are playing, going very heavy gank style.
For those guys who don't know about Aghanim Scepter, the unobstructed vision is what you're able to pull out from that one for the Nightstalker, but only during the nighttime. During the daytime, she goes back to normal. But you've got this such a long nighttime cycle. They're going to take the tier 2 tower on that bottom lane, and then try and come in towards the middle lane to defend the middle, which they will successfully do so. In fact, even using the ultimate of Aoi just to push back the walls, the Necro units. He's able to bring down one and say a little bit of pure damage.
Well, it's another tower going Dignitas' way. All it took was a good pick-off or two coming from the Nightstalker, and then suddenly it's like, oh, we can get those tier 2 towers, those towers which have been so hard to take so far.
Just waits for Mini. And again, another track kill going to happen here, and this Shuri toss, more than enough damage. Fog gets this one, more earn charges just fly his way, which means these guys never retreat. They never have to fall back, and with Lycan on the sidelines, Pulse, they don't have that big bonus, and they also have that Lycan, which just causes so many issues when you're being chased by both Wolves and Tim.
You talk about the first nighttime not being too successful, but this second nighttime, there's been about 6 or 7 straight track kills. Teamfight after teamfight going the way of Dignitas. The gold as well is just suddenly bounced right back up. They're suddenly the ones in control of this game.
Yep, and they're going to look to get even more in control. They're going to try and bring down the Roshan. And I don't know if Pulse really want to try and defend this. Roshan's already down at half life, so if they're going to make that move, Region with the power shot, Ice Path as well. Says hi to Roshan, but those Mass Serpent Wards are making it very, very difficult if Pulse want to just jump in and do something with it. Those Mass Serpent Wards are going to cause a lot of problems, and another power shot flies through, another Ice Path, but it's already too late. Gyrocopter, he's the man who has the Aegis the Immortal. And Waiga tracked up as well as that rocket. Go get rid of that rocket as fast as they possibly can. It still hits. And Fogged, quick void. But the Howl is out. They want to try and harass down something, but they're dealing with the too many Gyrocopters. Full mana style done for him now. They're still having 1,400 gold in the bank account. Pulse defend the push, and Dignitas don't force it.
Yeah, Dignitas in no rush here. They just cast basically track after track, keep vision of where Pulse are moving around the map. And even though Pulse, they force them back, it's like, where do they go now? All they can do is go back to farming because every move of theirs is being spotted by this track.
They try and make a move on the top lane. Tombstone going to drop, and just get rid of the Tombstone as well as the cooldown both being used. And Mini cops a lot of damage to his Necro units, and did use his ultimate to try and get in that too. But it stops the Ancient stack from being completely farmed up, steals a little bit of himself. And then maybe Dignitas, Fogged, silence up on Wagamama. Shackle doesn't lash, it's a mini stun. Pinoy doesn't want to be involved in this one. Big oldie up the hill's really going to hurt hard. Owie is there as well as sneaking a lot of damage. Queen of Pain's actually now jumped in behind them. They're almost looking to bring down Owie, but he cannot finish the job. Owie on 28 HP. We've got the Macro Pie going down as well, but Wagamama, he's the only one to take the fall apart from Shadow Shaman. And Region being tracked, being killed. Aegis the Immortal will pop. And that's the only... Actually, Gyrocopter. Aegis the Immortal pops. Shadow Shaman goes down for the price of 4.
Well, and price of 4 track kills. Probably not all of them tracked up, but 2 or 3 of those would have been track kills. And Dignitas, it's really scary how fast they can farm items when they're winning fights like this. You go from Bounty Hunter really struggling in that offlane to suddenly having Vlad's drums, 2k gold on top of that. Night Stalker's already got 4k gold on top of his Aghanim Scepter. It's just really... the big items coming their way. Gyrocopter, who's been picked off a few times since getting that fast drums and phase boost, suddenly has 3.5k gold on top of his Manta Style. And the item progression for Dignitas is just going to be somewhat really difficult for Pulse to handle in these next few fights.
Watching this top lane now, the Mini is TP'd up here, but then again, instantly hunted by this little rocket. Tier 1 tower goes down, so Mini can't even defend it. There's a TP in vain here. He's going to get stunned at the same time sneaking. Also rotates up. Maybe trying to force Mini. Nope, doesn't want to force him at all. It's actually in the middle lane where Jakiro is getting brought down. So Night Stalker again, this time in combination with the Undying. And then he moves up towards the top lane. There's just nowhere safe outside the base for Mini.
Yeah, Night Stalker's just setting up kill after kill. He's been involved in 16 of these 19 kills as that solo mid Night Stalker. And it's largely because of this item choice, getting that fast Ag Scepter.
Oh, Mini forced to pop the ultimate in a defensive way. Not what he wants to have happen. Has to abandon the tier 2 tower and run all the way back to base.
Well, from here on out, Pulse need to be playing a sort of much more defensive farm-based game. They can't really take the fight to Dignitas, especially during any nighttime. Nighttime, they just cannot fight. Dignitas have the superior map control, the superior map awareness with both the Night Stalker vision, the Bounty Hunter track. They don't even really need wards all that much, but they have got some well placed around the bottom lane as well as the bottom river. They can just push so easily and with just no fear because of this vision they get.
The problem is, though, nighttime lasts forever.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of a Night Stalker who's already got a level 3 ultimate. He keeps on popping it. And as you can see, cooldown for 180 seconds, duration for 80 seconds. So every 100 seconds, he's able to extend that nighttime. Basically freezes time at midnight. So these nighttime phases just last forever. We are actually in daytime, would you believe, out of everything we're watching. But the second we hit that nighttime, which is probably not going to be too far away, then things change around. Sorry, we're not in daytime just yet. We're 3 hours away. Of Dota time, that is. Valve time.
We're getting there. And Gyrocopter's finished off the BKB here, so we're going to see Owie get that item to help keep himself alive in some of these fights. And for Dignitas, this is just going to be a case where they wait for those next couple openings. They probably go try take a fight in the next couple minutes while it is still nighttime. Once it's daytime, they have a much tougher time. Gem being picked up for Fog now. He's going to fly that out maybe to one of his support heroes, maybe carried himself. But either way, Pulse are going to have a tough time in this next few fights if it is taken during the night.
Yep. And now he's just getting so much more up his sleeves now. Full BKB, Manta Style, and still having 2.2k up his sleeve. And the Assault Cuirass and Aghanim Scepter for Fog. It's like everything they want is coming up. Arcane Boots, we've got the Ghost Scepter for Shadow Shaman. So even if Sven as well as Lycan want to open up on him, it's just not doable. And he's getting closer and closer to what either could be a blink, could be something else. Sneaking, he's building up his BKB. In fact, he now can buy the entire thing. And yep, there's a full Black King bar now purchased up for sneaking.
Well,
it's just they can't control Dignitas during the fights. There's no way. You can't stun, you can't sting, you can't slow. They're just going to keep on walking around unobstructed.
Yeah, the few fights that have gone all right for Pulse have been when Queen and Pain has gone into a great position to go for big ultimate. They've hit the shackle shots. They've had the Stormbolt hit multiple heroes. Pulse are entirely reliant on their AoE disables, their AoE nukes, and BKBs is just going to completely annihilate this. This isn't even a Nightstalk with BKB. He's just going pure HP, the stats from the Aghanim Scepter, the survivability, the armor from the Assault Cuirass. And BKB is now coming up for the Bounty Hunter. It's going to allow him to play a lot more aggressively and make it really hard for some of these Pulse heroes to have an impact on these fights.
Yeah. I'm even wondering what Pulse is thinking right now. Like, where do we really go from here? Are we looking for disables? We're not with Pinoy. He built Lincoln Sphere as his first item. So there's no disable, there's no extra little buff up, there's no spamming out of Aghanim Scepter ultimate for him. It's just this, I need to live, I need to get away. That's all it needs to be. We need to soak this up. Positional play with a 4-staff out from Windrunner. Mini, at least getting up in the Necro book level, so up to level 2 on that Necro book. At least Fishbone is just out arcaning.
Unfortunately for Lycan, even 30 minutes in, just having just the level 2 Necrobook as one of the main sort of farmers for this Pulse side is just not going to really cut it. Sven needs his BKB as well, and I think that's what Pulse are waiting for. When they've got the BKB, it'll be just about to hit daytime, and then they'll maybe look to go for a smoke gank, find a fight. Nightstalker will have ultimate though.
Well, hello Waga, trying to run away from sneaking. Tracked up, so impossible to do so. And he has no TP. I'm guessing he tried to actually TP out before and then got disabled out, and then Sven stun. Hits on Fog, sneaking a very, very quick move out to the side, and Waga, he's just looking for any kind of farm before he dies. That's all he's getting right now. Those last 2 creeps, and he even gets to knight those.
Well, he got one of those range creeps. Didn't get those other 2 little ones there. As Way Too Sexy comes in, takes the kill, and he's got 2.4k gold, so we may be seeing a Blink Dagger on him, maybe just a BKB, because it's the Queen of Pain who's going to be blinking past, looking for the squishier heroes on the back line. Shadow Shaman, the squishiest of them all for this Radiant side, so a BKB or some sort of mobility item like a Blink Dagger would be the preferred way to go. He's got the Blink Dagger now, so the initiation from Dignitas is really scary. They have the Nightstalker to scout things out. They can have a blinking Shadow Shaman. It's just really difficult. Pulse are just stuck kind of on their side of the map. They need a D-ward. They need to play ultra safe.
Again, can they even do that? It's kind of like one of those moments where you've got to run out. You've got to run out at the end of the day, because if you don't, Dignitas will just keep on farming. They'll find a couple of kills, maybe you get some even trade-offs, but it's never an even trade-off when you get track. And Dignitas, they are making a beeline down that middle lane. Going to try and force Pulse to come back, and who's up on that top lane? It's Pinoy who's pushing that one out. He has a TP scroll, and they're already rotating up for him.
Yeah, Dignitas not worried about going for those Raxes. Yeah, I think they're just feeling really confident with their position. They know they are just dramatically out-farming Pulse. Pulse are just stuck, sticking together as 3 or 4. It's only really Queen of Pain who's off alone trying to farm up as safely as possible. And the entire time, Dignitas have 3, 4 heroes farming at different places on the map. Right now, it's Bounty Hunter at top. You've got Undying farming 1 neutral camp. Owie farming another. You've got Fogged farming the Ancients on the Dire side. So not only are they farming their own side of the map, they're farming up farm that should be going the way of Pulse and really just forcing Pulse to play from a corner.
Yeah, even saw Mini trying to search for his farm. He went to the Radiant Ancients just so he's able to farm that up, because he didn't feel his own jungle was safe.
Yep.
He did not feel it was safe. And what are you supposed to do at that point? And what are you supposed to do when Owie picks up a Monkey King bar already 32 minutes in?
Oh, and Waga, as well as Region and Fishbone, they're de-warding their side of the map, which is something you have to do. They do it near the secret shot. The problem is there's other wards for Dignitas. Bottom lane, near mid lane as well. It's so much vision going the way of Dignitas. And this is during the daytime. The Observer wards can cover for them. Come nighttime, they've got the Nightstalker ultimate. They've just got such this great control, which limits Pulse's movements. Pulse can't really go for a gank. Even a smoke gank, they can't really use surprise if it's nighttime, because Nightstalker Ag Scepter will see them past trees. It's unobstructed vision. Yep. And that's something which is, I mean, for Pulse, this is daytime. They have to maybe smoke and look for a kill now. Mini does have one, so maybe they want to go soon.
Yeah, they just had a little bit of a look at Fog with the Invis Wolves coming in. But Fog don't want to stick around. In fact, Dignitas are all going to group up here in the middle lane. All 5 making their way in. And maybe this is go time for them. Maybe this is just go time. There's 1 minute till Roshan. Smoke's already happening. Moving up towards that top lane where Sneaking's currently looking at Pinoy as well as Region. Who do they want to start up with? Or maybe they just go in towards the middle lane. I'm seeing Mini hexed up. Cooldowns coming on down to Wagamama. Nice 3-man stun, then follows up with the Ice Path. Then starts cleaving through them. Huge chunk of damage. Time to time forced to actually rip himself. Pinoy just throw the ulti and kill him. The blade mail damage has a little bit of fun, but Owie with a triple kill. Lincoln Sphere is the only thing that's saving Pinoy from being nailed, but then again, we've now got our rocket flying on him, and maybe it's not enough to save him. The little minions flying up behind him as Gyro covered with an ultimate kill, with an ultra kill. It's just too much. There's just way too much damage. Pinoy tries to come back, looking for Fog, instantly silenced. Now Aoi turns around, just right click. Is it 5 right clicks to bring him down? It's a rampage already for
Double
Aoi.
rampage.
Double rampage, and it's going to be mid-racks. This is, my friends, GG.
AUI 2000 brings the goods in the late game. What a fantastic team fight for Dignitas, just using that smoke gank perfectly. They come in, they catch Pulse split up. They only had 2 or 3 heroes in the mid lane, another couple at top. Either way, whether Dignitas gank mid or top, they're getting kills. They follow up with a mid set of Raxes. Pulse is still staying in this game, but losing that mid set here, they probably not. It looks like Aoi's just going to keep going at the mid lane, at least with those illusions, and just do a lot of damage here. But Pulse just falling so far behind. This is a position where it's just going to be ridiculously hard to come back from.
Yeah, they're gonna pick up Roshan. He starts to build up his butterfly at the same time, so they can do it pretty fast. Queen of Pain's not for another 30 seconds. Even then, no ulti. Sven will have his back in a moment, but just the speed they can bring down Roshan, and they'll be Aegis the Immortal for the Night Stalker. Or maybe even sneaking. He's walking around on his way towards his own Monkey King bar if he wants it, but no, they give it to Aoi. Of course, he is the man that just steals all the right-click damage and buys a full butterfly. 35 minutes in.
Yikes, that's coming from all this track gold, all this free farm he's got. Fog picks up himself up a full Satanic. You've just got a crazy amount of items. The supports, Mech, Blade Mail on the Undying. You've got a Shadow Shaman with a ton of farm as well, and well, Shadow Shaman is the prey.
Yeah, Shackle won't latch, but it's still enough. Maybe with the Ghost Scepter, they'll buy enough time. Stormbolt flies up, decent amount of damage, and then they follow through. Ice Path is there, call down, as well as the Tombstone trying to cause a little bit of issues, and it tells us a lot of issues. In fact, and Aoi just stands his ground. He will go down. Fog is able to finish off the last vent that was there. The Queen of Pain running away as fast as possible. They popped the Aegis to the Immortal, but you just saw Aoi stand his ground and destroy them.
Well, Wagamama with that Sven showing some balls, but it's just not enough when you've got Aoi with this much farm, this much control. He wipes out the entire team of Sven in just a matter of seconds. Sven just trying to lifesteal him back, so lifesteal his way back up to full HP. It's not enough, and Dignitas is like, well, we just go straight down the mid lane. 4 heroes are dead. Pinoy cannot defend on his own. He's just a Queen of Pain. He's only got this Lincoln's, and this is GG. Dignitas are going to take this second game. They are now 2-0. They are now going to be going through this group stage to the playoffs.
And this is a Dignitas, which I was curious about if they would have enough, if they were capable of performing at this level, and I think I can quite happily say I eat my words pretty badly. I'm happy about that.
Well, you were right about Fnatic. Fnatic having taken down Pulse Gaming in a position to take down that second spot in the group. Unless something crazy happens, this is going to be your top 2 teams. Dignitas going through first in the group, and your second place going to be Fnatic. Pulse, now with 2 losses, pretty much most likely going to be knocked out of during the group stage. Suffer the similar fate of Mouse.